Okay, go ahead.
Clear.
One of the injectors could be plugged up because of stuck valve, but she wants to run.
All right. We've got a guy in town who called us. He is, I believe, the captain of the boat. It's a European boat, and he wants us to come and get the engine started. They have not been started in 4 years. The last service was 6 years ago. They're Volvo engines. We're the Volvo dealer in the area. So we're going to figure out what we need to do to get these engines running and see if they're still good. All right, let's head over and see what the guys have found.
Well, we're going to go down here and check out some boats. It's been here, not been started. Connect our computer, see what's up. Who knows? Will it start?
There's a lot of stuff going on, so that's all the background noise. This yard's always moving. It's a pretty nice boat too. I like it. It's an Italian boat. You can see when the last service was. It's been a while since these motors have ran. So we're gonna get ready to hook up Vodia. With these older type of motors, you can't just hook up into a normal service port that communicates with both engines. We actually have to use a splitter box here, wherever Mel put it, right here, to connect both engines to the computer. So we're gonna get ready to do that. Boot up Vodia, see if any codes, DTCs come up. See if Vodia tells us anything, really.
Where's the other plug?
What do you think, Mel?
Not to, it makes my head hurt. Got the Vodia connected to the, choose the D6, check neutral.
Yep.
Service mode for the helm.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how to do it on these old ones.
Ignition on.
All right, everything's on.
Okay, so you got the ignition on.
Yep. There we go. Aren't these burnt out?
Should hear a beep.
I did hear like a click if you clicked it.
Well, you're supposed to hear a beep. Let's see if we can connect. See what happens. Logging in. All right, so we're all connected up. Port and starboard engine. So we have a new to the boat EVC mid 187 on the starboard side. So this is where the software conflict is coming in.
That's interesting.
Okay. Well, that's a little more of the story then. All right, here we go. Now, power on the current drive line.
All right.
All right. And turn the ignition on.
Just before, yeah.
See what happens. Software is going through. That's a good sign. Manual service mode. Please select the number of helm stations to program. All right. We have one helm station, right? This is the only place you drive the boat. Press the minus button.
For 6 seconds.
6 seconds.
All right.
There you go. You heard the beep?
Yep.
All right. So now we just let this run until that completes. That'll be the home station. All right. Software update's done. Power off drive lines. Turn the ignition off, please.
Ignition off.
Get down in here. Turn the battery switch off. Now let's look in for the rest of the installation. All right. Turn it on and turn the ignition back on. Press the minus button 6 seconds, please. Now this says for EVCC, press it, but this is EVCD.
Sorry.
So, but it's the same process. So now we're saying 10 more minutes, and that's maybe not going to take that long because this might be the ECU this time. We'll see what happens. All right, so we got the software in, but as I was afraid, the ECU did not complete. They programmed it, but something didn't work. So we got to go look at the details for that real quick. We will check one more time and see what we have. Okay, so software did not go in. So I'm reconnecting to try to read the trouble codes. First time I did it, it said it could not read DTC. So we've got one problem. We got the starboard straight out.
You ready?
Give it a shot.
Stop.
Like it wants to.
All right. So, go again.
Okay, stop.
Stop.
Now we check water and the fuel. I don't think that was an active DTC. I think that was from when he changed the fuel filter and had the problem. All right, we tried to start this engine up. No good. We even tried to prime it. It wants to go, but so we're gonna check, see if we got any fuel flow problems. So we're gonna check here first with the water separator, but we have to take the water separator off the wall because the bottom of it is so close to the bottom of the boat. We can't get to it to get the bolts loose. So we got to get the drain out and check for water and move on from there. We'll see what happens.
All right, so got a will it start update. Come to find out, the engines have not been serviced since April of 2019, so almost 6 years. And according to the computer, they were only ran for a few minutes once 4 years ago. Okay, first off, I said that I'm not going to try to start these engines anymore until after we do a full service on the engines. That includes coolant, zincs, oil, filters, belts, you name it. I also put on the invoice under the notes section that the other company used ether on both engines to try to start them. Well, that's not, the Volvo doesn't want you doing that because you can cause internal damage to the engines. So I put that on there, that I'm not responsible for any damage that occurred from that. Also, they cracked the high pressure injector lines, which is expressly forbidden by Volvo. We may end up having to change that fuel rail out because they broke those lines free. You're not supposed to do that, but they did it. So I put that on there. As the story goes, find out more and more as we go on. Will it start? We'll see.
What do you guys think?
All right, so our camera died yesterday, so we're gonna give you a little recap of what happened, what we did.
Do a little recap. We found some other information out on the port engine. It seemed that there was another company there before us trying to get the engines to start. They took the injector lines loose to try to bleed air out of them on the port engine. And that is something that the manufacturer states in all of their manuals and their training not to do. Not a big thing, but it's just a thing. Something else that they told us happened, for the other company did, was they were supplying ether to the intake to try to get it to start. Now, you know, people will argue, yeah, well, what's the big deal? Well, what's the big deal? You're not supposed to do it. So that's that. Not going to argue about it. So that's what we're at with that. On the starboard engine, the customer tried to change a fuel filter that had a water in the fuel sensor in the bottom of it. So he unscrewed it to put it in the new filter bottom of the filter bowl. And putting it in, he damaged that. So on the starboard side, we couldn't get enough fuel to the engine out of a Bowser can. So the engine would start, it just wouldn't run. So we have to get a full fuel supply to the engine. I believe with the new sensor and gasket and fuel bowl, we'll be all right. Got to do that. Order parts. Wait for parts. But
Hurry up and wait. All right, so here's hooked up. We're draining oil the starboard side.
So that's basically the flow I get. I mean, it comes out in little spurts and then it slows down. But it's thick oil, man. Like that is, I've have maybe around 2.5 gallons out. So halfway through, maybe. I am putting back in the transmission filter. And the cap, putting new seals on it. So it's just ready to put back on.
standard engine service.
Yeah.
Filters, fluids, impeller goes in the water pump there. Of course, fuel filter we got to change, and the oil filters we got to change. Gearbox oil filter. Also up here we had got 2 tachometers. This one and this one had to be changed. So this is kind of nice. It's easy to get to. Just lean the panel forward. You got both of them right there in the back. Easy to get to. That was nice. So we got that done. Changed oil filters on the engines, or air filters, I mean. So we got that done. Got to put some impellers in now. This engine over here, we're going to have to take the water pump off, seawater pump, because one of these bolts broke on the backside. And because of where it is here in the boat, you can't get to it. So it's easier, I believe, to take the water pump off, because you got a bolt here, here, and here. And I think it's just easier that way than trying to fight with it. Okay, so we got the starboard side all finished. We're over here on the port side now. We had to change the impeller on the seawater pump down here. One of these bolts back here on the back side where the impeller goes in broke. So we had to take the entire seawater pump off the engine because I couldn't get to the bolt to get it out. So when we took the bolts here, you can see they're corroded quite a bit from where they're at. Had to get some new bolts. And of course they weren't in the parts book that I had, so I had to contact our parts guy, and he gave us some help. Hopefully got the part number now. We'll get those bolts in here and get these bolts changed. Doing that also broke a couple clamps on the hose for the water pump, so we'll change those too. 4 bolts, 2 clamps. Still got to connect the drive belt, has to be tightened up, but other than that, this one's ready to go. I'll get ready to put in some tachometers here, so I have to assign port and starter tachometers to the system. So we'll get ready to do that with the computer. We'll do that now. So we got the tachometers in. Assign it to the port engine, starboard engine. You got to do that. But I'm having communications errors. The tachometers aren't powering up. I'm getting nothing in the display. So we're going to have to do some more troubleshooting on this guy. He's I can't get it to go into calibration or service mode. Just don't know why, but I got to do some troubleshooting and get back on it, see what happens. Okay, so we changed the 2 tachometers on and did some engine work here. So got everything put together on the engines. Still waiting for the bolts for the seawater pump on this one, so we can't really start the engine yet. So we got the tachometers in, and on the EVC system, there's a series of buttons you have to push to get the system itself into factory OEM mode to check everything. And then you also have to put it into auto configuration after you put the software in. So I put the software in. Problem is there's no information showing up on the tachometer display because it has never been installed or programmed. So what you do when you first start it up, turn your ignitions on, you get your displays. Now we're getting beeps here because it's been done, but what you do is you have to enter auto configuration mode. So you have to push these 2 buttons and then these 2 buttons, and then these will all start flashing. Then it'll go out, all the lights go out. Then you'll get in here, it'll show you a progress bar to install the software in both of the tachometers. So that's all been done. All the updates were good. I have to insert the hours on this one yet. Everything else worked. We need 4 new bolts for the seawater pump on the port side, and then we'll put it in the water and try to get these engines running. But it's been a bit of a progress today, so hopefully the bolts will be here later this afternoon, and we can get it in the water and see what happens. So stay tuned. We'll get back to it.
All right, Mal. So we're back on this boat with the 2 engines that I haven't started in like 4 years, 2 to 4 years. So what are we going to try today, Mal?
Start the engines. So what we've done, I've checked everything so far. The fuel system from the tank. Checked the fuel return to the tank. I don't see any blockages. The air flows through when I blow it. I'm getting fuel up through here. Being that the boat's set for so long, it could be bad fuel. It could be gummed up injectors, fuel pump, engine not cranking fast enough to increase the high pressure from the fuel pump so that the injector will open, because there's a pressure that this fuel pump has to reach, a minimum pressure, before these injectors will fire, open up and send fuel. So what I was seeing was I was getting up to the pressure sometimes, not all the time. So I'm not suspecting any bad high pressure pump or anything like that. I think it's just been sitting too long. So I've got a Bowser here with fresh fuel, clean, fresh fuel. It's going to go straight into the injector pump, and we're just going to see what happens. Crank it up, and hopefully she'll light off.
It's also a bit chilly here today. It is 64, and in non-freedom units, it is 18 degrees Celsius. So it's a nice day for working for sure, but a little too cold for us Floridians.
Getting the water out of the exhaust. When you go to try to start these, you get water from the sea pump, raw water pump, into the exhaust, because that's where it comes back out. So if you don't keep this open and get this water out of here, it can back up into the exhaust system and go back into the cylinders through the exhaust valves.
And flood the cylinders up.
So then you end up with an engine that's hydrolocked, and it'll never shut off.
So this is our little test to see if exhaust fumes come out.
Okay, go ahead.
Clear?
Clear.
I see black smoke. I literally saw it.
All right. Well, we're going to give her a shot here. I'm going to verify some things that need to be checked. I've already checked the return lines to the tank. Air goes through them, so that's open. What I did not check was to see if I'm getting return to the return line to go back to the tank from the injector. If I'm not, then that means there's no fuel getting to the injector to bypass to come back out. If I am, then, well, we move on to something else. So we're going to give this a shot, see what happens. So we got water.
You want to turn the batteries on?
The battery's on. We got some water going, and you're clear to start anytime.
Ready?
Ready? Okay, so I am getting fuel from the return, so that means we're getting fuel through the injector. So you could hear it wants to start, it wants to run. One of the injectors could be plugged up, could have stuck valve. I would experience some more noises, I would think, but not necessarily all the time. But she wants to run. We're just going to keep working on it, see what happens.
Wanted to give a shout out to somebody. We went to work on their boat. Their air conditioning was misbehaving. We got that fixed. They not only paid their invoice, they gave us a tip. We got a huge bag, a gallon bag of what I would call jumbo stone crab claws. That's a dandy stone crab claw right there. So thank you very much. You know who you are. Appreciate it. We'll put these to good use. All right, well, Carrie came home all excited. So this couple called up. They're from Michigan, and they wanted a shirt, and they wanted to swing by the office and meet us, and had to tell them that, well, I'm not quite working yet. Well, I'm working from home on the couch, but I'm not out and about.
The guy's trip.
Yeah, the highlight of the guy's trip was trying to meet me. And I'm like, it's very flattering that somebody wants to meet you that bad.
Well, he's a mechanic too.
Yeah, he's a
so
mechanic
he can
too.
relate to you.
It's just a little, somebody wants to meet me. I don't know. It's a little embarrassing or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyways,
but other people stop by the office too.
Yeah.
And
So
they try.
I told Carrie, she says, well, I left the package out for them at the office so they could pick it up, a shirt and a bag of swag. I told her, well, I'm not doing anything except answering phone calls, so have them swing by the house here and say hi. And so Carrie texted them back, and they are totally excited right now, and I guess they're on the way to the house. So we got a shirt here. We'll give them the shirt, and we'll say hi, and we'll see if they want to be on video.
I didn't realize you were laid up again, though.
Yeah, broke my collarbone.
Jeff Tolles.
Matt, nice to meet you.
Broken rib and collarbone.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God. My wife,
Yes.
Kim.
Hey, Kim.
Hi.
I'm Matt.
Nice
Nice to meet you.
I'm the sister-in-law, Jamie.
Nice to meet
What's
you,
your name?
Kim.
Jamie.
Jamie.
And this is my wife, Rachel.
Rachel, nice to meet
Nice to
you.
meet you,
We're
Rachel.
just, I started looking it up and trying to find, to get him a t-shirt. And so I called and she left the t-shirt out. So here we are.
Awesome. Well,
So-
good.
I'm an old schooler.
Yeah.
Automotive repair shop for 21 years.
Oh, there you go.
Right on Lake Erie.
Oh, gotcha.
So we worked on boats, we worked on cars, we
Yeah.
worked on snow blowers.
Whatever came through the
whatever our
door.
customers needed.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So Jeff, Kim, Jamie, and Rachel from Michigan, and the other two are from Indiana. Just stopped by, and we had a nice chat for about 20 minutes. And they're going downtown to get some breakfast, I assume, maybe cocktails. Who knows? It is Key West. And they're down visiting and having vacation. They rented I think they rented a big house up by Vaca Cut up in Marathon. And they wanted to get out of the house, so they decided to come down here. And on their way, they wanted to see us. So we visited with them and had a great time. I got some of these poncho shirts. I know that probably doesn't do it justice, but they are pretty awesome. I have a few of them, and they're comfortable, pretty amazing. If you guys want, just look up poncho, and they come up with a bunch of shirts. I'm happy to report that actually today I'm feeling quite good. So my recovery is coming along. Every day seems to be a little bit better. I'm pretty sure that my collarbone here has mended together, which I'm pretty happy about that. It seems like that bone stimulator is really helping. Maybe a few more weeks, and I will be maybe able to get out a little bit. So for everybody that's watching, let me just tell you, if you're older like me, but still think you're 21 like me and act like it sometimes, don't do it. It's not worth it. Was up north, got my four-wheeler, was having too much fun, and got ejected off my four-wheeler and broke a rib or two in my left collarbone. And it's been a painful experience. Yeah. So make sure you guys are behaving yourself when you're out there, and take care of each other. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And we'll keep you posted on what's going on.